Let's see what this conventional vanilla latte does to my blood sugar. This is a short vanilla latte from Starbucks. It contains about 130 calories, 3 grams of fat, 19 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of protein. Now, I think most people probably don't get this small of a size. I think most people probably get this size or bigger. And if I did get this size, which is technically a tall, it has 37 grams of carbs, so quite a big difference between the two. Now, coffee for many people can actually raise blood sugar, not just because of the sugar content, but also because of the caffeine. And is especially true when you don't have a strong health foundation. What I call this is an exaggerated stress response or a high cell danger response, meaning your body is really amped up, meaning it's less accepting of carbohydrates, and your liver is kicking out more glucose into your bloodstream. And so you're more likely to have a rise in blood sugar in that state, even if you got rid of carbs completely. And so you can think about coffee as another stimulant. Now, when you have a strong health foundation, this doesn't create as much of an impact, but for many people that we work with that are dealing with blood sugar swings, especially high blood sugar, this is something that can really contribute to spikes. So my blood sugar is currently at 139. It's a little bit higher than what I normally would have it just because I had a few stressful meetings before this. But nonetheless, if I can get my insulin dosing right, maybe do some movement in between, this will regulate just fine. I will check in with you in 2 hours to see how this latte impacts my blood sugar.
2 hours later.
So we are back 2 hours later after having this short vanilla latte from Starbucks. Let's see how our blood sugar did. So if you look at the graph, our blood sugar actually went down a little bit, back low, and now it's stabilized at a 106. So not bad at all, despite being a faster acting carb, despite being coffee. I typically do fairly well with coffee. At the same time, this is certainly not going to be something that keeps you stabilized. I feel hungry afterwards. I feel like I need to eat more afterwards. I really don't feel great. I feel kind of groggy, kind of tired. I think the caffeine gives somewhat of a boost, but like we said, it's really more of an artificial boost. Where we really want to be getting those boosts from is the way that we eat and the way that we live. Something like this can be far more stabilizing because it does have some protein, it does have some fat, especially if you pair it with like a whole milk, which adds a little bit more fat to it, a little bit more of that satiating factor. So if you're into coffee, this can be a really great option. Let's see what this high protein vanilla latte does to my blood sugar. This vanilla latte is from the company Naked. All their nutritional products come with really good ingredients, this being no exception to that. In one serving of this vanilla latte mix, it contains 140 calories, 3 grams of fat, 9 grams of carbohydrates, and 20 grams of protein, which is half as much carbs as I had in this vanilla latte. And this vanilla latte doesn't have near the amount of protein that is in this. In addition, this mix contains 423 milligrams of potassium and 88 milligrams of calcium, both of which can help with carb processing. In other words, helping you to keep your blood sugar in range even while you're eating or drinking carbs. And so we mix this latte with milk just to get as close as we can to the amount of carbs that are in this short vanilla latte. And so now we have 21 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fat, and 28 grams of protein in this one coffee. And so we'll see how our blood sugar does over the next 2 hours.
2 hours later.
We are back after having the high protein vanilla latte. Let's see how our blood sugar did. So as you can see in the graph, our blood sugar did go a little bit higher, up to 140, and it gradually went down to 126, so right where we want it to be. This was a bigger rise than what I typically see, but I was shooting more videos, more sitting down, so I wasn't as active as I normally am. So that could be a reason why. This is also more of a faster acting carb, and like I mentioned, it does have a little bit of caffeine in it, and so the combination of those two might have also contributed to a little bit more of the rise that we're seeing. That being said, we're right at 126 2 hours after the meal, so not bad at all, right where we're wanting to be. And this is definitely more satiating than something like this that doesn't have near the amount of protein or fat. And that protein and fat in this can make this satiating for a heck of a lot longer. And this can be helpful for blood sugar, weight loss goals, but also just energy as well. Because something like this, you have more of a rise and fall with energy, versus this, it's a little bit more stabilized. So you get that boost of caffeine, but you also get the benefits of that lasting you a little bit longer. And so who is the winner between your conventional coffee versus your high protein coffee? Well, for me, I consider balanced blood sugar to be 1, the numbers, but also 2, how I'm feeling afterwards. This one I got a little bit of a boost from, but it certainly didn't last and it felt like it made me hungrier. Versus this, it's far more satiating and stabilizing from an energy and a blood sugar perspective. And so remember, blood sugars are one, about the numbers, but also two, how you're feeling as a result. If you're a coffee lover and want something that's not going to spike your blood sugar, this can be a great option. And if you want to pick it up, all first-time buyers get a 20% discount that you can get in the description below. If you liked this video, check out this other video where I test out how my blood sugar responds to a conventional brownie versus a high protein brownie.